sebenarnya tahu nawe katubone Italian has what how about this is different.
Yes, I can check if it's possible to marry by Chirana.
You have to reply. You have to
Someone has
reply.
it's like someone has already
Okay.
people yes, I don't like this table, sir. Yeah, ya sai duba wani idan ana gani a gaban shi kuma people are blocking him, so you have avoid it.
Asan ina so ba kayan mai wannan masu wuta. Wancan wurin shi ne in akwai wannan ma wurin sa na wurin shi.
Our honorable host, Your Excellencies, very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to borrow your attention as I very graciously ask that we settle down to our seats and establishing, playing along the protocol for this occasion. With your face mask properly worn, I welcome us to this occasion this morning. Our amiable chief host, the Prime Minister of Aviation, Senator Hadi Sirika, our elder statesman, very distinguished Nigerian, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture. Allow me to welcome us, the Honorable Minister of Water Resources, very distinguished Senator, Chairman of the Senate Committee on Aviation, distinguished Senator Smart Adeyemi, very distinguished Nigerians here. Allow me pause for now as we rise for the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, please. The national anthem. We're going to take the national anthem after the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. The national anthem. Rise.
You can't. Just play it. This is not the program of the event.
I can't.
We flow our strength and faith.
Can you sing the song of
God
God?
is
This is good.
I mean, I'm trying to.
There's such a rough program. Okay. Let me use this one there. Program of the event so that you will know what is here. Like printed.
Thank you very much. We have our Sixth Excellency,
Hard copy.
Honorable Minister of Aviation, the host. Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Minister of Interior, the Honorable Minister of Water Resources, very distinguished Senate Committee Chairman on Aviation, the Honorable Minister of State Works and Housing, Honorable Minister of State Industry, Trade and Investment. Allow me to welcome also our Royal Highnesses. We have the Emir of Gombe, ably seated in our midst, Elijah Abubakar Shehu Abubakar. A warm round of applause for him. Let me also welcome His Royal Highness, the Emir of Nasarawa State, former Minister of Environment, Elijah Ibrahim Jibril Ismail. One round of applause for him. Our host permanent secretary, the permanent secretary of Minister of Aviation, the representative of the Minister of Finance, the permanent secretary, Minister of Finance, CEOs in our midst, aviation experts in our midst, agricultural professionals in our midst, professors in our midst, vice chancellors, representatives of state government in our midst, representatives of ministers in our midst, our host, immediate host, the DG of the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, all the prostators here present, very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to the seasonal climatic prediction. There is a growth in the process, and it's becoming a household name. Minister, Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, Honorable Minister of State, other ministers that are here, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Aviation, Engineer Musa Hassan, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Finance, representing the Honorable Minister, other distinguished guests that are here, gentlemen of the press, good morning, assalamu alaikum. You are all welcome to this year's annual presentation of the seasonal climate prediction and the 2020 State of the Climate publication. It is my privilege and pleasure on behalf of the Nigerian Meteorological Agency to welcome you here today. Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this event has become a yearly practice for over 10 years now, and is done in fulfillment of the NiMET mandate to provide timely, accurate weather and climate forecasts, as well as advisories to Nigerians against possible adverse effects and extreme weather and climate events that may affect various sectors of the economy. This includes agriculture, aviation, transportation, water resources, disaster risk management, marine, engineering, tourism, sports, and so on. Such information or advisories provide early warnings and promote early preparedness and planning by all stakeholders in the country. You may recall that in 2020, the public presentation was held early enough in January to allow adequate planning and policy formulation. But shortly after the presentation of the forecast, the nation and different parts of the world were ravaged by coronavirus pandemic, that is COVID-19, which brought serious challenges to most nations in the world. The pandemic was then followed by extreme events in form of floods and high-intensity dry spells. It is worthy to mention here that most of the observed extreme events were well predicted by NiMET in 2020 predictions, with only a few places experienced very unusual extreme rainfall and temperatures beyond and below normal threshold set in the prediction. The World Meteorological Organization, WMO, recently reported that 2020 was one of the hottest years in history. This statement is corroborated with reports of warmer than normal temperatures, especially during the hot season in most parts of Nigeria in 2020, as predicted earlier by NiMET. We are very glad to report that despite the many challenges caused by COVID-19 during the year 2020, we have been able to meet with much of the expectations of our stakeholders, particularly in the aviation, security, and defense and disaster management. For example, throughout the national lockdown period, our meteorologists remain on 24 hours operational duties to provide aeronautical meteorology information needed for sub-air navigation for especially essential and humanitarian flights and military operational activities. The unusual phenomena observed in the previous year is mostly attributed to climate change and variability, which has continued to affect global weather and climate, and sometimes make prediction over certain places a very difficult task for scientists. There is the need, therefore, for all stakeholders to fully embrace climate smart tools such as the NiMET Seasonal Climate Prediction Advisory in the face of climate change challenges. It is said that when hunters learn to shoot without missing, birds too learn to fly without perching. In the same vein, since climate change has continued to wreak havoc on man and his environment, it is wisdom for us to learn to be climate smart and more serious in taking scientific informed decisions, such as the NiMET Daily Weather and Seasonal Climate Prediction Advisories. Effort has also been made by the agency to translate the seasonal climate prediction document into 3 major languages: Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo. to encourage wider use in the country. This wouldn't have been possible without our stakeholders' contribution, collaboration, and support. This year, we shall continue with aggressive drive towards getting the prediction downscaled to the lowest level in the society, in conjunction with states and local governments throughout the country. In this regard, we shall particularly appreciate the cooperation and support of our royal fathers who live and work directly with the people operating at the lower strata of the society. Honorable Minister, sir, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to acknowledge that your calm support, contribution, and feedbacks have been very helpful in improving the seasonal climate prediction from year to year. It may interest you to know that some of the testimonies by our stakeholders have been well documented and published in the 2021 edition of the document to build the confidence of users. Furthermore, in recognition of the importance of the annual rainfall prediction and other early warning products and services, that the agency under your guidance and support is being empowered and positioned for more strategic partnership. We have, in collaboration with universities and higher institutions, increased from 54 to over 200 meteorological stations in the country, and this is still ongoing in all parts of the country. NiMET shall continue to strive towards maintaining excellence in its operational activities. Just last year, we have renewed certification of ISO 9001:2015 for aeronautical meteorological services delivery, thereby becoming the first meteorological organization in Africa to achieve that feat. In August 2019, NiMET also acquired the ISO 29990:2010 for training service at the regional center in Lagos, and again, the first in Africa. The recently established National Meteorological Institute has secured National Board for Technical Education accreditation status, where we shall be training Nigerians in meteorology at OND and technical levels. At the regional level, I'm glad to say that NiMET is providing daily weather forecast services to republics of Liberia and Sierra Leone, in addition to other technical support services being rendered to Ghana, Gambia, Malawi, and Mozambique on quality management system, ISO certification, and early warning systems. We have been able to achieve through active support of the WFO, for which we shall remain ever grateful. Finally, before I hand over to the Master of Ceremony, who will continue to anchor the day's event, I once more, on behalf of the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, say welcome, and it is wonderful seeing so many of you here. Thank you all, and welcome you once again.
Another warm round of applause for the Director General, Nigerian Meteorological Agency. When we talk about climatic prediction, temperature is important. Rainfall precipitation is important. Wind is important. Humidity is important. Atmospheric pressure is important. And when we talk about the cloud cover, is important. So this prediction is important to water resources, is important to agriculture, is important to aviation, is important to national planning. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, whilst the DG was delivering a welcome address, we had our amiable Minister of Youth and Sports walking. Join me welcome Mr. Sunday Daddy. One round of applause for him. Very distinguished Senator Motaya Alaso Dura, Honorable Minister of State Niger Delta is here. Let's celebrate him with another one round of applause. Honorable Minister of State Trade and Industries, Ambassador Mariam Katagum is here. Let's celebrate her, please. One round of applause. My boss, amiable leader, distinguished Senator Biodun Olujimi is here. Let's celebrate her. Every member of the National Assembly here. Celebrate them, please. Presentation of a ministerial scorecard in meteorology and certificates stroke awards won by NiMET to the Honorable Minister of Aviation to be performed by the Director of Applied Meteorological Services, NiMET. A warm round of applause for the director as we make the presentation now because of the want of time. Director, sir.
The Honorable Minister, the Chief Host of this occasion, permit me to stand on existing established protocol. It is my pleasure to stand before you to present the scorecard of the tremendous achievements of the Honorable Minister of Aviation, Senator Hadi Sirika, also known as Hadi Nababa, since his appointment in 2015. These achievements are so diverse and vast, covering support to all sectors of national development, security, aviation, agriculture, water resources, health, environmental sustainability, youth and sport, disaster reduction, construction, transportation, marine and maritime, oil and gas, telecommunications, etc., that the management of NiMET decided to compile and publish them for posterity. The efforts of the Honorable Minister in taking NiMET to higher levels, as indicated by the achievements recorded, have not gone unnoticed, even internationally. The World Meteorological Organization, the UN umbrella body that regulates all national meteorological and hydrological services across the globe, has rated NiMET among the best two in Africa, and adopted 5 stations of the agency among the centenary meteorological stations in the world. These stations are located in Lagos, the one we call Radio Roof, in Calabar, Yola, Sokoto, and Mina. Additionally, the International Standards Organization, the rail service providers worldwide, has awarded 3 important certificates to NiMET. The ISO 9001 for the provision of aeronautical services, the ISO 29990 for the provision of specialized training in meteorology, and ISO 17025 for the provision of services in calibration of meteorological instruments. With these brief remarks that attempt to showcase the areas of achievement of the Honorable Minister in the field of meteorology, I have the honor to call on the Director General of NiMET, Professor Sani Abubakar Mashi, to present this publication tagged the giant stride of Senator Hadi Sirika as Minister of Aviation to the public, and also present the 3 certificates plus the WMO Centenary Award on Data Observation to the Honorable Minister for his noting and further action. Thank you very much.
Chairman of the occasion, our royal fathers, honorable ministers, other distinguished guests that are here, I am standing here before you to formally present to the honorable minister some landmark achievements recorded by the country through Nigerian Meteorological Agency in form of 3 certifications that are worthy of noting, that are worthy of celebration, that we consider this occasion as the most suitable time to formally present it to the Honorable Minister for his noting, for necessary actions, and for formal presentation to Nigerians. Briefly to say, like we have reflected in the publication, the modest publication, which we produced, the catalog, the modest achievements that the Honorable Minister has recorded in the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, we explained, among other things, that the issue of certification in aviation, the issue of certification is accorded very high priority, because as a service provider, there must be some level of excellence you are supposed to be maintaining in provision of those services. That is why International Standards Organization always carry out audit exercise on service providers with a view to assessing the extent to which they comply. We at the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, we took up the challenge first of all by the Honorable Minister, because the Honorable Minister insisted the Mr. President and other Nigerians would see for themselves the achievement that you have recorded in Nigerian Meteorological Agency, which is a reflection of the giant strides you have been achieving in the aviation sector. Honorable Minister, sir, I have the honor of presenting them to you.
Renewed ISO 9001-2015 certification, new ISO 2990-2010 certification, World Meteorological Organization Centenary Award and Data Observation. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, one round of applause for NiMET. Very quickly, we're going to be taking goodwill messages. Allow me welcome in an ascending order the representative of the UNEP president, rather the UNEP president, United Nations Environment Ecosystem-Based Adaptation for Food Security Assembly. Representative of UNEP Nigeria, Mr. James Oyeshola, for his goodwill message. 2 minutes, please. One round of applause for him. 2 minutes. Whilst it's coming, allow me to prepare the hats of the representative of WMO here for his goodwill message, after which IFAD will follow. Thank you. Seated in our midst, ladies and gentlemen, is His Excellency, the Governor of Kwara State. Join me welcome Alhaji Abdurrahman Abdurazak. One round of applause for Your Excellency, welcome. The Delta State government is presented here today by the Special Advisor on National Affairs, Right Honorable Pascal Lord Michael Adigwe. One round of applause for him. Our amiable Minister of Special Duties, former Governor of Benue State, Senator Dr. George Akuma is here. One round of applause for him, please. Call professional, calm, cool, collected, Honorable Minister of State for Health, Dr. Senator Adeleke Mamora is here. Celebration, please.
Good morning. Very good minister, can you please stand on already established protocol? I want to sincerely appreciate NiMET for this wonderful job they are doing. Under the United Ecosystem-Based Adaptation for Food Security Assembly, which is a nature-based solution, depends solely on what NiMET is predicting yearly. And we can say authoritatively that the prediction for 2020 is almost 80% of what we have in terms of ecosystem-based adaptation. We have Focal Point working directly with NiMET, Mr. Nadadi Yusuf, and also work directly with Remia of Natala, who is also engaging the youth in the area of clean energy, the solar panels, because of the addition of what NiMET is really doing. We want to appreciate the minister for this wonderful job, and we want to think that they should keep all this up so that the people will be done for the country. I want to say with the indulgence of the minister to declare NiMET as a nature-based solution agency of Nigeria. This is not against it, because one of the greatest ways of having the nature-based solution is the climate prediction. If you can predict the climate properly, the hard-head engineering aspect using unnecessary things to hate food security will actually be reduced. So, nature-based solution, NiMET, congratulations. Thank you all for listening.
IFAD is this. IFAD, are you ready? Representative of IFAD, please. Let me prepare the hearts of the students for their short drama. Begin to prepare yourselves. We're going to invite you on from now. Thank you.
Honorable Minister of Aviation, the Chairman, please permit me to stand on the established protocol. Yes. It is a great honor and privilege for us as federal government of Nigeria, if assisted climate change adaptation and agribusiness support program, have worked with NiMET since 2017 to provide reliable climate information, especially the seasonal rainfall prediction in cases of Borno, Yobe, Jigawa, Katsina, Zamfara, Kebbi, and Sokoto. The SRP has been very useful to our appreciated farmers, one of which is here with me, will testify to what he has been enjoying since the beginning of our collaboration. The major issue and most important of this prediction is being carried out at the community level by NiMET, where our farmers know exactly when to plant and also determines the operations to avoid risk and loss. The downscaling has also been knowing the farmers to avoid the dry, small, little dry season, which turns the agricultural operations of weeding, fertilizer applications, and other things. These all goes away along increasing our yield and raising our income and risk mitigation. The chairman allows with me the farmer to say what he is doing, what he is enjoying from the prediction that we're receiving.
Gaskiya mu wannan tsari da an karɓi da shi yanzu mun san da daidai mu yi shirka domin mu samu wahalar gona mai kyau kuma yanzu mun san irin da ya dace mu sa mai inganci a da sannan kwanan ba gaskiya muna sa ido wanda mun haɗa dama kuma ana sarka asara mai yawa amma saboda yawan tsari da muka kawo mana yanzu gaskiya mun samu ci yanzu duk irin da za mu sa muna da taɓa shugabannin mu gaya mana mu je a ba mu iri ingantacce mai kyau mu sa yanzu da ta wanda ma kan shi ke wurare masu dama sai ma je abin da ya sama sai ya zai isa dai ya sun kasuwa amma gaskiya ga yanzu iyakar wannan wurin yasa ba wai iyali ne ba har sai yawa iyali musamman ma bana.
In a nutshell, the farmer is saying that they know now when to plant, and that goes along in reducing their seed loss. They know how to use improved seeds and get increased yield. So we thank NiMET, we thank the federal government of Nigeria for the program, and we wish NiMET more successful years. Thank you.
Ẹ káàsán o, orúkọ tèmi ni Túnjí Lálùdé, mo wá láti iléeṣẹ́ sọ́ọ̀tì tó wà ní ìlú Adó-Àwálé ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Kó tó di pé wèrè làgbẹ̀ Ọlọ́run ló máa ń sọ ọdọgbọ́n, ìyẹn ni pé a lè dáko nígbà tó wù wá, a lè gbin nǹkan tó wù wá nígbà tó wù wá, tó bá hù déédéé. Bí ò bá dẹ̀rù ọwọ́ Ọlọ́run ló wà. Ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tí iléeṣẹ́ yìí dé tí wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní dá wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ la rí wípé àgbẹ̀ ò sí èrè rárá, àìlóye ló ń dà wá láàmú. Ṣùgbọ́n lẹ́yìn ìgbà tó nípa lóye ta rí ẹ̀kọ́ kọ́ láti iléeṣẹ́ NiMET àti ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ sí mímọ àkókò wo ló yẹ ká gbé nǹkan, ìgbà wo ni ò yẹ ká gbé. Nípa ti eléyìí a rí wípé à ń rí èrè gọbọi lórí àwọn nǹkan ọ̀gbìn gbogbo tá à ń gbìn. Adúpẹ́ púpọ̀ fún iléeṣẹ́ NiMET àti àwọn ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ wọn gbogbo.
Ọhaneze bịara n'ebe a ndewo unu, ana m ekele unu. Aha m bụ Daniel, nwoke Daniel Ndubisi, onye Umegbu Alapịa Amaala, Ngọkpala, Imo Steeti. Abụ m otu onye na ndị nzukọ n'aka ọrụ ugbo na Naịjirịa. Anọ m n'ebe a n'ụbọchị taa ikwupụta ihe nrite n'uru nke m ritere site n'aka ndị na-ekwupụta dịka o siri dịrị na mgbanwe nke ihu eluigwe n'ụbọchị n'oge ndị a. Ndị a na-enye m ihe ntụziaka dịka onye ọrụ ubi ịmara oge o kwesịrị mụa ịmalite ọrụ ubi na mgbe m ga-ewerekwa ihe ubi. Amụtara m site n'aka ha na ọ dịghị mma iji mmiri nke mbụ zoro n'afọ malite ịkụ ihe ọrụ ubi, n'ihi na ime nke a ọ ga-eme ka anwụ na akịka na ihe ndị ọzọ na-ala n'ihi ihe akụrụ n'ubi laa n'ihi ihe ịkụrụ n'ubi. Ọzọkwa, amụtara m na ọ dịghị mma ịkụ ihe akụkụ ubi n'ebe ọsọrọ mmiri na-aga maọbụ na-adị nnukwu, n'ihi na ime nke a ọ ga-emebi ihe ịkụrụ n'ubi. N'ihi ihe ndị a na ọtụtụ ihe ndị ọzọ m mụtara, ana m eji ohere a n'eziokwu na-ekele ndị na-akụzi ihe gbasara mgbanwe ihe eluigwe n'ụbọchị n'ihi ụdị enyemaka ha nyerela ndị ọrụ ubi na obodo anyị bụ Naijiria, ọ bụla na Afrịka n'ụwa dum niile. Asị Chukwu gọzie ha. Ndewo.
Thank you. That was just a brief summary from our farmers who we've been working with in the rural areas. NiMET covers the whole country. We've been to the rural part of the extreme north and the rural part of the east and the west. The summary is simply they were using their traditional method to determine when to plant and when to carry on their agricultural activity. But with the intervention of NiMET, they now have a clear pattern, a clear idea of how weather patterns are, and it has really helped them. Particularly last year, in the southwest, there was drought, the August break, extended August break, but we were able to work and plan with them so that they understand the major and minor seasons, and we were able to take advantage of this information to reduce risks and increase their production. Thank you very much. No plane departs without weather information. No football match is playable in the stadium when the weather is offensive. It must be clement. No basketball, no sports can be done. The Minister of Youth and Sports is here. The Minister of Agriculture is here. The Minister of Special Duties is here. The Federal Executive Council can hold here because of the importance of this prediction. One round of applause to everybody. Your Excellency, our honorable Governor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of persons are joining us through the virtual means. Vice Chancellors for a lot of universities are hooked on, professionals are hooked on, because it's core and important to everyone. Allow me to manage the time as I welcome, not to speak, but he's an armist, the Royal Commissioner for Environment, presenting His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Niger State, Honorable Barrister Mohammed and Secretary, you're welcome. One round of applause for him. The Permanent Secretary, Federal Minister of Women Affairs, Dr. Antonia Akpabio Ekpa is here. Let's celebrate her, please. Dr. Ablahi, Special Advisor on Agriculture, presenting His Excellency, the Governor of Katsina State and the good people of Katsina. One round of applause for him. Honorable Minister of State Science and Tech is presented by Ablahi. You're welcome. A whole long list. We have the Director of Planning, Research and Forecast representing the DG NEMA. You're welcome. AGM, Mohammed, celebrating for us, they're here. George Eder, Absata, Aviation Parastatal, everybody is here. Right now, this John Chalani, welcome. To speak on behalf of Vice Chancellors, the Vice Chancellor of Federal University, Kashari from Gombe State. A warm round of applause for Mr. Visi. Whilst is coming before the withdraw my PhD, let me welcome my PhD supervisor, Professor Shaibu M. Hassan is here. Celebrate him, please. Help me clap for him again, please. Prof, you're welcome, sir.
The executive governors, their presence and their representatives, honorable ministers, distinguished members of the National Assembly, traditional rulers, their presence, the DG NiMET, my colleagues, Vice Chancellor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm highly pleased and delighted to stand before you to give you a testimony on the activities of NiMET in higher institutions, particularly the university. In my university, Federal University Kakere, in Gombe State. This agency has done a lot for us through upgrading our methodological station, where we generate data on a daily basis, 24 hours, and transmit it to the headquarters here in Zambia. That has assisted the data plan of this agency. We are highly grateful for this assistance. It has helped the university in so many ways, particularly in research. We try to plan our research based on the prediction of the previous year, and we get good results because we have the data. We also plan our visits for students, field visits, research tours based on the weather forecast. And it has helped us to produce graduates who are well grounded in the environment and they can serve the community, the state, the nation, and the whole world. I want to highly commend the Honorable Minister of Aviation for the giant strides he has made since he was appointed as the Honorable Minister of Aviation. We are seeing tremendous activity going on in the aviation industry. Our aviation industry, we all agree with you, has changed for the good. We have a national, international airport that can be compared to the developed countries' airport. And the conduct and manner these airports are being run, in fact, it is highly commended. So the agency has been doing a lot. Just recently, the director and his team came to Federal University Kashiri and signed a memorandum of understanding for us to partner and collaborate and build for research. So we are very grateful for that, and they have promised to expand our methodological station to represent the Northeast region. And I hope and pray that such integration will come very soon in the interest of academic, education, and production of graduates of high end. Thank you very much.
Another one round of applause for our high institution presented by the Vice Chancellor. Is a technical presentation extremely important for research and for the academia. Celebrate them again, please. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, allow me now to ascend higher as I invite His Royal Highness Alhaji Ibrahim Usman Jibrin, former Minister of Environment and our amiable father and the Emir of Nasarawa, for his good message. Let's celebrate him.
Distinguished Honorable Ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, members of the National Assembly, governors and their representatives, Reverend Father, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure and honor to stand before you this morning on the occasion of the NiMET annual climate prediction. We were here by the special grace of God last year in January, and today we are invited again. I believe it's a great privilege. We thank you most sincerely for that. We take this prediction very seriously, because from time to time we have local variation. But permit me to mention a little about natural
In 2019, we had the first rain in February, and the normal break came in until it stabilizes, and we recommend the first rain for the last rain of the year on the 19th of November 2019. Last year, the rains came around February, but by May, we had a devastating windstorm of flood, which destroyed a lot of buildings, roads, bridges in some villages in our area up to Karshi, the FCT. When we visited the town with the governor, we alluded to the fact that we were apprehensive because floods normally occur in this area around August and September. For us to have floods in May, it shows us what may likely come. And of course, on the 9th of May, 9th of September, the flood in Nasarawa arrived. It was devastating, but 11 days after, we were monitoring events in Abuja. The rain started in Abuja around 3 p.m. and lasted until midnight. And that means that will be problem downstream. And in Nasarawa, the rain started around 3 a.m. and lasted till 6 in the morning. By the time we woke up, most of the houses along the bank of the river in Nasarawa were completely eroded. And we were lucky there was no life lost. But we lost a lot of things. The dam that supplies water to the town was completely washed away. The intake towers, electrical installation, and many other things. The essence of this small story is to inform people not to take this climate prediction lightly. Because these are real, climate change is real. But we are grateful that NiMET, under the able leadership of Professor Marshi and the distinguished Senator Mukadi, the Minister of Aviation, have been doing a lot to enlighten our farmers. We are concerned, and we had the driest month of August in our living history thus far. But when we had the rain on the 31st of July, the whole of August until 21st, for only 3 weeks, even in the south where you have global maximum and August break, it was very unusual for 21 days in the month of August without a single rainfall. But that is what happened. And when it arrived in September, it caused a lot of devastation. As if that is not enough, the rain ceased on the 18th of October last year, as against the 19th of November in 2019. So I urge our brothers, farmers all over the country to always take this rainfall prediction, climate prediction very seriously, to be conscious of the fact that climate change is real, and we're happy to have distinguished senators, to have honorable ministers of agriculture, water resources, social issues. All these are key ministries that matter, and we believe working together as a team will do a lot to help our farmers. On this note, I want to thank once more NiMET, the Minister, for giving us this opportunity. I assure you that whatever literature we pick here today will disseminate it to our farmers and ensure that they take these predictions religiously. We always read these documents and we see them as our prayer books, because our farmers who cannot afford to go to the information that is scientific and proven to be correct. We thank you most sincerely. We wish you all the best, and we hope this year's predictions will be favorable to all. Thank you, and God bless.
Please celebrate our royal father. Another warm round of applause for him.
the government and good people of Edo State, ably presented by the Director General, rising office here, Mr. Festus Osagi Osai-Bofo. One round of applause for him. Representative Minister of Environment, Mr. Sally Jonah, you welcome. Director of Planning Research and Strategy, we welcome you. One round of applause, please. Again, our His Excellency, the Minister of Interior, whilst our Royal Father was giving us his royal message, walked in. One round of applause for the Minister of Interior. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, very quickly, we're trying to beat time. Everybody here is quite busy, especially our minister and senators. They need to rush back to other assignments. I'm still only 3 minutes as much as possible for your goodwill. Allow me to welcome the Royal Father of the Day, the Emir of Gombe, His Royal Highness Alhaji Dr. Abubakar Shehu Abubakar. One round of applause for him.
Nigeria. It is my great pleasure to be here today on the occasion of the official presentation on the report by the Nigerian today's event. Today's event is important in order to help us take stock of various changes to the past 1 year, make informed forecast of 2021, identify key challenges and develop appropriate strategies. The issue of climate change is going to affect us in many ways, from rising temperature, rainfall reducing, rising sea level, and flooding drought, the encroaching, desertification, land degradation, and the loss of biodiversity. As traditional rulers, we are close to the common man, and we therefore encounter this harmful climate effect as hand. We have seen how those harmful effects can lead to declining agricultural productivity, the food security, aggravated poverty, increased unemployment, and the social tension among our people. That's why most all NiMET for its untiring work trust to this development and creating awareness around changes in weather and climate conditions. By providing us with expert forecasts about temperature, rainfall rise, sea level, and other relevant climate variables, our farmers will be better plan and prioritize their farming activities during the rainy season. The report will also enable government and policymakers to devise appropriate strategies to mitigate those changes, as well as invest in projects that promote reliance against climate-related shocks. Also, the health implication of seasonal climate prediction cannot be emphasized, considering how climate determines the outbreak of some disease, meningitis, cholera. Public health also
social support, awareness, environmental message, and protection to the grassroots. Thereby helping and educating our people about the implications of climate change that will contribute to mitigate against its harmful effects. Thank you once again, and God bless you all.
Your Excellencies, allow as Secretary General from Geneva, the World Meteorological Organization, giving us a goodwill message. Please give us the volume.
So, dear Minister Hadia Sirika, dear Professor Massi, it's a great pleasure to attend this event, of course, by virtually only, and I'm sorry that I cannot be with you physically. In my meeting, in my room here in Geneva, the spirit of Professor Obasi, the former Secretary General of WMO, is still with me, and I'm really grateful for the work that he has done for the sake of WMO and also this building where we are today. It was thanks to Professor Obasi. You can see behind me a painting from Nigeria. I have been told that this is a young woman from northern part of Nigeria. So I'm also here facing the art from Nigeria. The WMO office you are hosting in Abuja. We are very grateful for all of the support that you have given to our office, and this office is serving the interest of the Western Africa, which is one of our target areas when it comes to development. We are also grateful for the government of Nigeria for the efforts that you have put behind NiMET. NiMET is one of the strongest med services in whole Africa, and really a good example of a med service in the whole region 1. And besides having a strong med service in Nigeria, also you have been supporting many of the other neighboring countries in Western and Central Africa. We are very grateful for that. And the financing model of NiMET, that's an excellent one, and the fact that aviation is supporting your activities, that's excellent. Of course, at the moment the whole world is having challenges with the COVID, and that's that I'm sure that it's also hitting NiMET, and I hope that we will overcome this pandemic challenge by the end of this year. WMO is also publishing status of climate reports and status of disasters reports, and that's what we have been doing during recent months, and we have demonstrated that we have seen 1.2 degree warming so far, and we have been breaking records in the main greenhouse gases year by year, and we have also seen changes in the precipitation patterns, and Africa is especially sensitive to changes in rainfall patterns because of the high dependence on agriculture of the various economies. And most of the disasters, they are related to weather. Between 80 and 90% during the past years have been related to weather, and we have seen an increase in the amount of disasters during the past 10 years, and also the economic and human loss impacts have been negative. Thanks to the improved weather services, we have been able to minimize the amount of casualties, and also we have been able to mitigate some of the economic losses. But they are obviously growing because of climate change. And the LDC countries and SIDS countries, they are suffering the most, and of course many of the LDC countries are placed in Africa, which is a target area for us. We are working hard to improve the observing systems in Africa, and we have also a challenge to improve the multi-hazard early warning services with impact-based component. And Nigeria could support the neighboring countries in that respect. In some parts of the world, like in Africa, population growth is also one of the challenges. That means that we are going to see more people who are suffering because of climate change, and the governments will have difficulties in providing healthcare, education, and employment for the young people, which may be a political challenge, and it may be source of unrest and source of refugee challenges. So that's besides climate mitigation, where the situation at the moment looks very promising, we also have to pay attention to population growth. We have published recent reports, but we are also grateful for NiMET for publishing this climate report that is valid for this year. And we all know that at the moment we have a La Nina going on, which is affecting the weather features worldwide. And some of the models predict that this will continue for the coming months, and the latter half of this year we don't know what's going to happen, whether we will see La Nina continued or even El Nino going on. These issues will be handled, besides your meeting, also at the Regional Climate Outlook Fora, which we are organizing in all of our sub-regions, also in African countries. And these are beneficial for agriculture, health sector, transport sector, and also energy sector. With these words, I would like to thank you for the opportunity to address you, and I hope that in the near future we would be able to meet also face to face. And I've already visited Nigeria twice, and I would be happy to come again once the situation permits. So, Your Excellencies, thanks for the opportunity to address you, and I would like to wish you a successful meeting. Thank you.
Honorable Ministers, Royal Fathers, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kabila Baya, Wildlife and Social Advisor. Accuracy was 100%. If it's lower than that 100%. around 80%, especially those of the 2020. It was really, really precarious. In fact, the prediction was just about 65%. Now, what I want to say is we have utilized this information from NiMET and we're able to expand our agricultural development, especially in terms of maize production. Everybody knows that maize production normally occurs in the southern part of the state. But because of this information we get from NiMET, we're able to identify seeds. Now, say maize is being grown in the northern part of the extreme northern part of the state. So that is all due to the availability of this information. Now, to further concretize this partnership, we intend to go into a tripartite arrangement with NiMET, Omar Musa University. We wanted to do that last year, but unfortunately, because of this COVID-19 that has ravaged the economy, we're not able to do it. But hopefully this year, in our budget, we want to do it. We want to establish Center for Agrometeorology and Precision Agriculture. That is in partnership with Omar Musa University and NiMET and Katsina State Government. And what we need to do is we want to develop a formal system for agrometeorology so that we can even train some scientists, extension agents in this agrometeorology. Because we have looked all over the country, we have not found a real center that will really utilize this kind of technology that's coming up through NiMET. So we want to establish it this year. Inshallah, we'll be doing that. So we'll be coming to NiMET for further collaboration. And also, I want to mention that Katsina State has established automatic weather station in each of the local governments. That has helped us in getting weather information. So we're now calling on NiMET now also to integrate that whole weather station into our system so that we can further get a precise and accurate weather prediction at the local government level so that it will guide in our agricultural production. Once again, thank you very much for NiMET, and our farmers have really enjoyed it, especially through the EWAT project. They have utilized this information and really boost their productivity. Thank you very much.
Pressure from all sides, including our demography, the pressure from the Sahara, and linked to the strategic in our production, in our development plan, calls for this prediction. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, celebrate Katsina State for me again. And at this juncture, I want to say just kindly, we're very happy we can fill this feedback form as in all the programs given out to you. Please check it and fill it for us. I want to get a feedback from you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome to the microphone the Minister of State Industry, Trade and Investment, Her Excellency Ambassador Mariam Katakun. Celebrate her, please.
Mr. Chairman, distinguished members of the National Assembly, members of the Federal Executive Council, our royal fathers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me from the outset thank the Honorable Minister of Aviation, Senator Haji Sirika, for inviting me to this event. This is my very first NiMET event. And also to congratulate the Honorable Minister and NiMET for the giant stride so far. I asked myself a question when I got his letter. Why should climate predictions interest my ministry, which is Industry, Trade and Investment? But then again, I looked at the theme of this year's event, which has to do with supporting the economy to cope with the challenges of COVID-19. Now, that is very important for us in the ministry, because climate predictions impact on the demand and supply of products and services. And as you're all aware, Nigeria, like most other countries, we have MSMEs that are the engines of the economy. So once you have, be it positive or negative climate predictions and weather disruptions, these definitely will have either a positive or negative impact on the supply and demand of products and services. This in turn will affect the GDP of the whole country, because once the supply chain is disrupted, then this has a kind of domino effect. So be it that you have excessive rainfall, in which case you have flooding and we lose all the crops, or there's too little rain. So even the crops you planted are not able to get enough water. And then you have incidences of, as you see in other countries, wildfires and so on and so forth. These all tend to wipe away the plans of the farmers, and this goes on to the industry, whether small industries or the large industries. Furthermore, you also find that climate change will invariably affect capital or your savings. For the farmer, once his crops are wiped out, then you've created a big hole in his pocket or in his bank account. So again, from the small farmer to medium enterprises to large enterprises, negative climate predictions or changes definitely affect our savings. It wipes away our capital, and therefore it increases inequality, income inequality within the country and also between countries. So you find countries who have suffered from excessive flooding, from excessive bushfires and so on, being negatively in terms of economic growth. Now, I find what the Ministry and NiMET are doing as part of their responsibility to inform the public that these things are going to happen. So how do we plan? Again, for me, we want to build on what NiMET is going to predict to help us support our MSMEs. As you are well aware, the government of President Muhammadu Buhari, we've already gone halfway with the implementation of a 75 billion naira MSME survival fund. So we'll definitely get information from this event, which will help our MSMEs. A lot of them depend on agri products to enable them sort of put some kind of value addition and some not just for domestic consumption, but to the point of export. So once again, I want to thank the Honorable Minister for this invitation, and I wish us all a very successful event and very clement weather prediction or forecast for the days to come. So I thank you for your kind attention.
And very quickly, let me invite my other statesman, distinguished Senator Dr. George Akume, for his goodwill, Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs. One round of applause for him, please. Once it's done, we're going to have the Minister of Agriculture come.
Your Excellency, Governor of Kwara State, Abdul Razak, his colleagues here present, the Chairman, Senate Committee on Aviation, and counterpart from the House of Representatives, the Minister of Aviation, Hadi, distinguished Senator, my friend, my brother, an extraordinary man, members of the Federal Executive Council here present, Rahul Interior, distinguished Senator, Mamorao, F. Darren, F. Water Resources, the greatest engineer of the year, the century. The Minister of Agriculture, the one who's feeding us and doing very well to ensure food security, and Minister of Investment. Your Royal Highness,
actually my father from Natural, sorry, the name of Natural of Bombay. Other rare college president, members of the diplomatic corps. Top government functionaries here, present ladies and gentlemen. I am Minister of Special Duties, so folks knows wherever I have to, basis of my mandates. When I was invited by my brother to speak on this, I said it was wonderful. Really, I want to appreciate the Minister of Aviation, Senator Hadi Abubakar, and his team for organizing this event. It's one who have cooperated together at the National Assembly, fantastic and extraordinary person who's charging his responsibilities very well. Climate change is rare. I don't need to talk much about it. It's very rare. In the past, it was difficult to Parliament. Maybe Trump made a mistake denying it, and they had to swap for it because the enormity of the problem is something that can never be solved. Climate is free. All of us must work together to ensure the survival of this planet. The presentation here today is remarkable. I want to commend very serious way Nigerian meteorological projects continuing to take the lead in warning us, advising us, and even forcing us on the issues affecting the climate. Rainfall, sundown, so many problems, physical changes being apparent all over the place. Scientists have yet to think that if the global temperature is 2 degrees Celsius, most coastal cities of the world will be under the sea. I want to emphasize this point because in a very light discussion with some of my colleagues from the south, I told them, when you said that we don't avoid in the north, that is coming when you run to the middle of the country, because the sea will be chasing you. Mamora and Rao. No. The sea is on the move, chase you all to the middle of the country. And of course, the desert is also threatened. And brothers from Jigawa and others will come together, manage the little we have for the benefit of all of us. God has a purpose for everything, and that is why we're in the middle of the country. So this issue of cattle will be of cattle or oil, but honestly, this is a serious issue, the issue of climate change. And I do know that several meetings, President emphasized the issue very seriously. All of us have a role to play in ensuring that things that degrade the environment are brought to various minimum. The reality of the impact of climate change on Nigeria cannot be overemphasized. The President acknowledged during his speech, General Assembly, that 40 million people affected by the drying up of the Lake Chad are currently agitated and expected of a budget solution to bring back their stolen livelihood. It's a real thing. Go to the Lake Chad. I've been to the Lake Chad before. When I was in HSC, it's the shell of his past. And when research has shown that desert encroachment is no longer a myth, I've said it. So many people, coastal villages along the Niger and Benue rivers are constantly being flooded with water destruction of their farms and properties and ultimate displacement of families and sometimes villages. And you can see what is going on, dredging of our river to ensure that flooding is brought to various minimum. And I said that southwest is not the flooding has constantly displaced families and destruction of their livelihood. All this impact negatively on our economy, and the truth again is that climate change impact are shrinking Nigerian landmass and building natural resources. All of you are witnesses. So we're now dealing with scientific facts, not politics. And that is why I said come Friday, they rejected it. I want to believe that with the new regime in the United States, the issue of climate change will be brought once again to the front. So, brothers and sisters, let us all cooperate with the President in ensuring that we protect the earth, we protect our environment, not just for our own purpose, but for the purpose of generations yet unborn. Thank you. God bless you.
Another warm round of applause for His Excellency, the Minister of Special Duties. A lot of persons are joining online across the nation and outside the shores of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. One of them is Dr. Anthony Anuforum, former DG of NiMET, who salute all you've done as a support to this family. Senior Technical Advisor to the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Dr. Marvin Binder, you welcome. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, allow me now to welcome the Minister of Agriculture, Alhaji Sabo Nano. Celebrate it, please.
The Chairman, Standing Committee on Aviation, the Chairman, House Committee on Aviation, my distinguished brothers and sisters, members of the Federal Executive Council. There are so many of them. I don't need to mention them by name. Our royal fathers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be very brief. NiMET, to us in the Ministry of Agriculture, is very important. And our relationship is fairly strong and also need to be strengthened further. We need to operate in all aspects of climate change as it affects the agricultural sector. I remember last year, they almost predicted that there will be flood in some states in the Federation. And some people take the warning. I was one of them that didn't heed the warning. And my right arm was completely washed out by flood. From now on, I think I will take it more seriously. I think I would like to draw the attention of this gathering to what happened last year. The rainy season last year has given us a food for thought. One, drought in the south and the flood in the north. These are two incompatible situations. We used to hear heavy rains in the south and then in some patches of drought here and there in the north. But last year, it was almost reversed. In some areas in the south, for nearly 45 days, there was no rain. And the maize and rice were devastated. The flood in the north, it was normally usual, but last year it was extraordinary, especially in Cape State and Gawa State. So this is something that we need to note and try to understand it and how to approach it. Secondly, it is also important to note that last year and even some previous years, in the north, rain seems to start from the northern north. Hadeja, Woman, Kazori area, and the part of northern Katsina started plenty.
even before some part of Kano, southern part of Kano, even Zaria started. So this is part of the climate change, and also we have to think very critically how to manage this situation. And finally, it is important also to note, for the last 10 years, as a farmer, I have noticed that the winter season tends to be short. And that is affecting the production of wheat in this country. And more importantly, it means that we have to be climate change smart, what we call smart agriculture. Probably we have to start thinking seriously of adapting tropical wheat. My ministry is under studying this, and Lake Chad Research Institute is working on that, and I think they have developed some varieties. So when you take it all, I must confess that NiMET over the last 10 years has been doing a very good work in this country. And I hope we will continue to do that. As to my ministry, our cooperation is not mere relationship, it's a must if we are going to secure Nigeria otherwise. Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, especially waited just because he wants to talk to us. Distinguished friends, allow me now to welcome His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kwara State, Alhaji Abdurrahman Abdulrazak. One round of applause for him, please.
Members of the National Assembly represent, members of the Federal Executive Council, top government functionary, our traditional rulers here present, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Mine is to commend NiMET for the good job being done, and to encourage you as well. We at the sub-national level always receive your messages, your letters, your bulletins. And with that, it triggers our activities in planning. The messages we get when we come to the local government. When I say triggers our activities in planning, part of state is the flood plain. And that we prepare for once we get those information. I'm glad the Minister of Water Resources is here. We've been pushing him with the middle belt, and that's the ensure pushing him to dredge for the dredging of the river Niger, and we know it's begun work on feasibility studies for dredging of the river Niger. Now, NiMET are doing a good job. We're lucky to have members of the leadership of the National Assembly here. I urge you to use your relationship with them to get more funds appropriated to you, because there's still a lot of work you need to do. In terms of stuff what include micro-targeting of people who live in flood-prone areas, farmers. We can work with communication companies by directly blasting information to those that may be affected by weather change. So once again, I thank you very much. I thank any minister for inviting me here. Good speech. Thank you.
Very warmly, let me invite the Minister of Water Resources to speak to us, Engineer Suleiman Adamu. Celebration, please.
Okay. His Excellency, the Governor of Kwara State, distinguished Chairman, Senate,
Committee on Aviation, distinguished Chairman House Committee, Honorable Chairman House Committee on Aviation, Honorable Minister of Aviation, our Chief Host, other honorable ministers, my colleagues here present. Happy New Year to you all. Because we've not been meeting at FEC yet. We are virtual meeting. Your Highness, the Emir of Gombe, His Highness, the Emir of Nasarawa, DG NiMET, and for staff, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I have a confession to make that in the last 5 years, or getting to 6 years that I've been minister, I've always been invited to this event. But I've never been here. But the reason is not because I never wanted to, it's because all the time it coincided with an event. I had an event outside Abuja, maybe outside Abuja or outside the country. But I'm very happy, at least maybe this is a positive thing about it, that we're all stuck at home. And I had the opportunity to be here today to be part of this event. Let me say also that not being here is not because it's not been important to us, it's quite important. I'm sure my team from NISA, Nigeria Aeronautical Service Agency, will be here. I'm sure they're here. So the DG is there, so we've always been heavily represented. I would say that NiMET and NISA are like Siamese twins. We'll be working together. And as you know also, we always follow suit after NiMET has done its annual prediction. And then we come with our annual flood outlook around May, June to complement the information that has been detailed by NiMET. So that's why I say we're working with Siamese twins. The fact that NiMET is an agency under Ministry of Aviation doesn't mean that it's entirely an aviation business. Highly take note. And I think that's why many ministers are here, because it cuts across so many sectors. They understand and appreciate that it's under the Ministry of Aviation, but we're also stakeholders and owners of NiMET. I've had so much. We talk about climate change, water resources involved. We talk about temperature, we talk about humidity, we talk about precipitation. At the end of the day, water resources is very key to our weather forecast and predictions. And I've had so much being said about flooding and so on and so forth, and that is key. Even the issue of agriculture cannot do without water. I think that reinforces the importance of my presence here today and the fact that we've always been involved and associated with this annual exercise. So I'd like to thank you for inviting me, and I'm very happy that I've had the opportunity to be here. I think probably this is a record attendance of ministers, because I've always observed the event on TV, but I've never really seen so congratulations to you. This 2021 event, I think, is a landmark, and I would like to congratulate my brother and colleague, Adi Sulika, Minister, and his team for all the good job they've been doing. We know, we've seen in council, we know how passionate he has been working to really give a new face to the aviation sector. But like I said, this is not about aviation, it's about weather. All of us. I want to say thanks for your stewardship and congratulations to NiMET for a job well done. Thank you. I will look forward to a very favorable year. We'll come very soon with our own annual field outlook, and I can assure you that a lot of the data we draw is also from NiMET, in addition to our own 200 plus weather stations. We call them hydrometeorological stations. So our work is complementary, and that's why I said we are Siamese twins. So I want to assure you that we'll continue to cooperate to do the needful for better planning and well-being of Nigerians in general. Thank you very much, and have a good day.
One round of applause for our amiable Minister of Water Resources doing a wonderful job in his ministry. God bless you, Philip, and your set of engineers. Give up your hands for him again, please. Let me salute and appreciate the presence of the representative of sister agencies here. Director Erica Monesco Standards presenting the Regional Nigeria Aviation Authority. Engineer Duno, you're welcome. The representative of the Commissioner AIB, you're welcome. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I invite representing the National Assembly, the Senate Committee on Aviation, and even the House Committee to speak on the National Assembly. Let me welcome distinguished Senator Smart Adeyemi, Chairman of the Senate Committee on Aviation. Let's celebrate it.
Our host, distinguished Senator and Minister of Aviation, the Minister of Agri, Minister of Water Resources, Minister of Youth, and our uncle, the Minister of Internal Affairs, the representative of the Chairman of the House Committee on Aviation, the Vice Chairman, Honorable Mohammed, Your Royal Highness, other head of agencies, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Minister, I'll be speaking not just as a politician, but I will try to recall speak as a journalist. I must confess that I am overwhelmed with the presence of quite a number of people who are here, some people who have not seen for a long time. I think quite a number of my colleagues here present, Senator Olujimi, Senator Mawara, and a lot of students are here. That, of course, shows the importance of this gathering for the minister. But let me say that I hold the view that this is a very important agency whose function is interwoven and interlocking with virtually every spirit of life. NiMET has done very well, and I'm particularly very proud of the minister when the DG NiMET came out with some of the appreciation, recognition globally. And I think that from the record we have seen, and based on some of the applications of recent that I've actually been taking note of, NiMET is one of the best agencies that we have in this country today. Looking at all the applications, I recall last year and the year before, where they visited the heavy downpour. A cousin of mine told me that around 3 a.m. in his house, he thought he was dreaming, and he saw water came up from the floor to his bed, and he was very direct off that what kind of dream is this, unknown to him that it was flooding, and he said to me immediately that he recalled that NiMET predicted that it was going to be downpour. For those of us from the middle belt of this country, as well like Kogi, we appreciate the role of NiMET. Talking about socio-economic development of our nation, security, stability, talking about weather prediction for our safety, especially air passengers. We appreciate the functions of NiMET. And based on the track record of the prof, I think it's not out of place, Honorable Minister of Internal Affairs, that when the time comes to appreciate those who have contributed immensely, agencies that have contributed well to the well-being of our nation, stability and security of our nation, NiMET should be recognized, and POP deserves to be recognized. Let me call you say, like I said, I speak as a journalist. I think this is a very important gathering, and each time we gather to celebrate in the sense of discussing and hearing the achievement of NiMET and talking about petitions. I think it's not out of place for all ministers to be present here. You can only have every good reason not to be here. Most of these ministers are not here. They are not. There's no council meeting. They are not observing any function, any assignment in their office. They have lieutenants. It is negligence of duty when
functions like this are neglected by those who are in charge of policy making of our nation. That's just inexplicable. If a minister is not here, there's no reason why a permanent secretary should not be here. And I think the president must take this very seriously. Some ministers just think after they are screened in the National Assembly, they can sit down, they become laws of their own. Governance is a serious business. And gathering ideas deserve attention of every one of us. This government, this President Muhammadu Buhari government, is one government that has faced so many challenges. From the global economic recession to instability, fighting war, there's no president that has faced instability, insecurity than this government. And there's no government in the last 10 years that has suffered poor revenue base than this government. So when we have a gathering like this, we have that supposed to be predictions and for us to know how to plan our affairs and the ministers are not here. I think simply rascality in government. And they should be told that. Every one of us have reason not to be here. And we have every reason to hide under the excuse of working from the zoo and through the zoo system, through the internet. I think we should take governance very seriously. And it's on this note I want to appreciate your Royal Majesty that are here. It's a serious business when you protect the peasant farmers and you let them know the dangers ahead. Not to talk of those who are in the aviation industry. Every sector of our economy is tied towards the weather, directly or indirectly. So it's a serious business. We talk about agriculture. Now that our country is facing serious challenges, economic recession, we must be looking at how we are going to diversify the economy. And to diversify the economy, we're talking about agriculture, mineral resources. These are the basic things that God has given our nation. So those who are charged with the responsibility of managing key sectors of our country, that weather is critical to them. If gathering like this, I think they should turn up. And I think it's not even out of place for our 100 ministers to take this as a note to the Federal Executive Council. Whenever we're going to be meeting here to look at the seasonal predictions, let there be enough information so that everyone who's in government should be here. I'm happy the Minister of Youth Development is here. If you're planning campaign for sport athletes to represent us, we are talking about the Olympics, it is good you are here. It shows that you'll be conscious of whether we are planning those programs. But why people like you are not here? What do you say about our nation? This is a serious business. Honorable Sir, I salute your performance. You've had a robust aviation. We've had an aviation that we are proud of. Despite the poor state of our resources as a nation, but there's a hope when those who are charged with the responsibility of governance are serious with the task of governance. Assalamu alaikum.
Salute our senator, please. Veteran journalist, advocate of the masses, friend of aviation, supporting this wonderful dream. Celebrate Senator Smart Adeyemi. The host minister, honorable ministers here, your Royal Highnesses, Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take just 3 minutes to break up the technicals and the goodwill as we embrace the young children who have our NiMET drama group. It's school meteorological ambassadors as they do their presentation. One round of applause for them in just 3 minutes. And after that, we'll sign on the Royal Minister of Aviation. The young students, please expedite. Just barely have 3 minutes for the want of time. We appreciate you. One round of applause for them.
Good day, everyone. We are members of Young Meteorological Ambassadors Club from Government Secondary School, Gwagwalada. We are here to present a short drama titled The Benefits of Nigerian Meteorological Agency Seasonal Climate Prediction to Farmers. Please stay tuned and watch. Thanks.
Oya, some to ekene. Uche mona for as we don't reach farm now. We won't start to the reach. So that tomorrow we go do ridges, then we go plant. As tomorrow rain don't start to the fall. Oya, you start from that side. Maybe you guys please go that side. Oya, Mama Uche. Mama Johnny, now you be welcome home. How come now? How your children? You are no good though. Why you no go farm today now? Because of waiting 9 years, stop now make you no go farm. Yes, Mama Johnny, you know say I no go school, don't come with your drama again. Which one be this people you go? When be that? Okay, 9 years. Now one agency like that, I think they call Nigerian Meteorological Nigerian Meteorological Agency. Big bang. Oh, you know, which one be that? Okay, those people they always talk about how rain go fall for the year, how farmers go farm. The time when they supposed farm, so it go do well. And the weather flood go there, all those kind of things and they talk. Wait, so you think that because of this now wait you talk, now you don't go farm? No, I'm saying I don't go farm this year. Let people have because everything when they talk are always true. What do they talk about? Okay, like when rain start to fall, the farmers say maybe they wait more before they start the farm, maybe rain enter ground well. You mean that they don't just plant sharp, so you don't go die like that. Will help you that last year. Because they tell us that last year, no wait small before we start the plant. Why did my yam you do it last year? Shall I give it up to that big yam when you give me that? I enjoy that yam. Oh God, if you see my yam that year, it's not true at all. I don't even see yam chop at all. I don't see job. Yeah. If I say that when they talk, say no, we don't plant, can you go plant? Why you plant last year? Early March, that early March, not plant. No, not early. No, wait, no, plant that early April. I go do well. No. Oh, I beg. If not because of this nine, what is that? 9 months. 9 months when you talk. So maybe this year, I go plant, I go see and come. I go like when you tell me, I beg. When I come now, I get your book. Now even go show you. You mean now? When I come, go to the one I come home for, I beg. I beg you go show me, I go like you.
Thank you all for watching. As we have seen the benefit of NiMET predictions to farmers, we urge all farmers to please follow the predictions of NiMET. Now, we want to use this medium to say to you all, thank you, NiMET.
Directors from the Federal Ministry of Aviation here. The Director of Safety and Technical Policy, Captain Akali, will welcome you. Director of Transport Management, Nayabi, will welcome you. Other directors, you are welcome. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we've been gaining altitude. At this point, we want to peak. As I invite our chief host, the Honourable Minister of Aviation, Senator Hadi Sirika, for the presentation. One round of applause for him. Nigerian Communication Commission, represented by the Director of Technical Standards and Network Integrity, Engineer B. Wakil, you're welcome. Please celebrate my minister.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Your Excellency, the Governor of Kwara State, my Chairman, most distinguished Senator Smart Adeyemi, my other Chairman, the Green Chamber, every represented by his Deputy, Vice Chairman, Honorable Musa Fali, Honorable Ministers of State Health, State Industries, State National Delta, Minister of Sports, Minister of Special Duties, Agriculture, Water Resources, State Power, and of course, Trade and Investments. Our Royal Highnesses, Lansarakuna Ndebe,
Gombe Nasara, Donda Musamujaba. Permanent secretaries, including and especially that of civil aviation and other permanent secretaries. State representatives, heads of agencies, including my friend, the Director General of National Orientation Agency, Dr. Garba Ambari. Of course, our vice chancellors and their representatives who are responsible for further research and development in all facets of life. Our partners, especially the WMO, our amiable students, and my friends, gentlemen of media. I know the protocol has been well established. I had to be able to go through it because I observed that it has been observed at some point in the bridge. Mine isn't perfect either. But please accept it as come. We will structurally observe all protocols. Judge Eda, I've seen you from after that. I'm very glad to address you all on this occasion of public presentation of the 2021 seasonal climate prediction and the 2020 State of the Climate Bulletin being prepared by NiMET. This is certainly an important annual event organized by this agency, and I am particularly pleased to note that NiMET is focusing this year's SCP presentation on the theme, Seasonal Climate Prediction, Supporting the Economy Cope with the Challenges of COVID-19 Pandemic in Nigeria. Very apt. The choice of this theme is quite relevant due to the fact that Nigeria and indeed other parts of the world have been ravaged by coronavirus pandemic, which brought untold hardships and challenges to most economies of the world. For this reason, year 2020 was very challenging to almost all nations of the world, including Nigeria. In fact, the ministry I supervise is the worst affected by COVID-19 in 2020 and up until this moment. We give thanks to God the Almighty that despite the second wave of the virus, Nigeria and Africa are reporting less casualties compared to other parts of the world. The challenges in the year 2020 were also worsened by the multiplier effect of extreme weather events experienced in the world and also in Nigeria. For instance, cases of extreme heavy rainfall caused flooding in most extreme northern states of the country, while the south experienced extreme rainfall shortages, which led to drought and prolonged dry spells in majority of the states. Let me reveal here that meteorological observation in Nigeria started since 1887, and the first operational meteorological service department was established in 1937. Since then, Nigeria, well, just to say that it started before amalgamation of 1914 anyway. Since then, Nigeria's capacity for weather and climate observation and services have continued to develop successfully. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, therefore, came into existence by Act of National Assembly of 2003, precisely on 21st of May 2003, and began effective 19th of June in the same year, following assent by Mr. President. The federal government, under the able leadership of Mr. President Muhammad Buhari, is very much committed to supporting the advancement of meteorology and national development in all relevant sectors in the country. I shall, in this respect, continue to support and encourage NiMET to do more in order to meet the aspirations of His Excellency Mr. President. In the wake of increasing trends of uncertainties regarding weather in changing climate, NiMET has continued to strive for excellence in meeting national, regional, and global expectations in weather and climate service delivery. One of these products is the annual climate prediction. The predictions from NiMET on a seasonal timescale have evolved over time. These involve improvements in the methodology and the lead time, including the deployment of more analytical tools and models, improved knowledge and scientific skills, and broadening of stakeholders and other user community. One critical involvement in the transition from only rainfall as a predictant to more climate variables. Similarly, the focus and target user community have widened from primarily the agricultural sector to other relevant weather and climate sensitive sectors of the economy, including sports. This environment has therefore necessitated a change in the nomenclature of the document from seasonal rainfall prediction to seasonal climate prediction to reflect the aforementioned improvements, thereby truly reflecting the content of our publication. The SCP is a national publication designed to provide climate information early regarding the upcoming season with the aim of assisting all relevant stakeholders and user communities to factor the predictions in their policies and activities for the year. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the 2021 SCP document contains valuable information that is useful for planning activities in all sectors of the economy. Thus, while a lot of focus is set on agriculture, of course for obvious reasons, other sectors such as security, water resources, let me say it here, water resources, my bone health. In fact, in health, I remember the said that most cooperated with us in health is that of Katsina at the time when the Honorable Commissioner at that time, Ajay Maria Bonanzo, was in charge. She was always here, and I believe even today should be in this fold. Thank you, Katsina State. Environment, transportation, power and energy, marine, construction, oil and gas, telecommunications, insurance and finance, trade and commerce, disaster risks reduction, etc. also stand to benefit immensely from our predictions. I therefore ask all policymakers here present to ensure that the information contained in the document that is about to be presented is utilized by the technocrats working with them during the implementation of this year's budget and indeed any other government program aimed at the socio-economic development of our dear nation. Just like what His Royal Highness has said, or the Royal Highnesses, that they will push down this document to the down to and explain to them for the benefit of our people. And this is especially so because as a signatory to the Paris Agreement on limiting emissions to below 2 degrees Celsius, all projects and programs should be designed and delivered in accordance with our national commitments to the Paris Agreement. And you will agree with me that the first consideration should be the state of our climate. I have in this vein directed NiMET to expeditiously attend to any requests for additional clarification or for specific products developed by NDAs, states, local governments, and other stakeholders where activities depend on weather and climate information. This is an important information for all Nigerians. It is crucial that government and individuals have access to this science-based focus that is derived from robust data and which is updated consistently. More importantly, science is factual and is precise. I remember the last time we tried to narrow down to each local government, they would reduce it to, of course, within 1 kilometer, 1 square kilometer, and then further reduced to 1 square meter. We can actually predict what will happen in a dinner table if it's outside. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the information about to be presented is science-based, derived from robust data, and has been reviewed thoroughly by experts. It is intended that it will be updated consistently and periodically as the season progresses to analyze observed deviations. Basically, information about onset dates for growing season, end of the season, length of the growing season, annual total rainfall amount, day and night temperature forecast, dry spell forecast, little dry season forecast, socio-economic implications of the predictions, malaria and cerebrospinal meningitis forecast for the year 2021 is what is contained. Well, for lack of light, okay, we have, I can't see very well. Okay, good. I now have the pleasure to announce the 2021 climate prediction as follows. But just before then, I think there's an important document that came to my knowledge which I want to share. There's a farmer in Nepal State, specifically from Dunguru. That farmer kept his book where he puts the rainfall and the millimeter and the date and the time, etc. Very diligently done. And this is a native man in his locality and being very scientific and being very accurate and following our predictions. And the reason was, I remember the second time we did this seasonal rainfall prediction, we divided certain category of farmers. Some followed our predictions and planted around Sokoto, Zamfara, Kevi area, and some didn't. Those who did ended up with bumper harvest. Those who didn't ended up with empty pockets. Also, I now have the pleasure to announce the 2021 climate prediction as follows. A, onset, which is the planting period. Onset, which is the planting period. The 2021 onset of the growing season is predicted to be normal to earlier than normal in most parts of the country. The earliest onset date is likely to occur on the 1st of March, one day before my birthday in 2021. Along the coastal line of the country, while the latest date is anticipated to be around 29th of June, the day after my wife's birthday, in the northernmost part of the country. However, later than normal onset dates are expected over a few places such as Lagos, Ogun, Kebbi, and Niger States, Bagadun. B, secession. The earliest secession date is around 9th of October, 2 days before the birthday of my son. It's expected around Katina, in the northern part of Sokoto, while the latest secession date is expected 25th of December, which is 7 days after Mr. President's birthday, 2021, over the Niger Delta region. Generally, secession dates are predicted to be relatively normal in most places, except for a few places where secession dates are expected to be a little earlier or later than normal. C, length of growing season. The length of growing season. The 2021 length of growing season is expected to span between 110 days in the extreme north to over 300 days in the south. Most places are expected to have the usual length of season. However, a few places, such as Lagos and the FCT, are likely to have a shorter length of season, differing by a few days, about 5 to 14 days. You know, capital cities, they have their own way of doing things. So they're all here maybe disturbing the ecology and the environment. Anyway, D, rainfall amount. A normal to above normal annual rainfall amount is expected for most parts of the country. However, below normal rainfall totals are expected over a few places in the northern west part of the country, such as Sokoto, Kebbi, Zamfara, and the state of the Minister for Agriculture, Kano. E, pre-onset rainfall, false onset. This is our false alarm. Before the full establishment of the onset of the planting season over the various ecological zones, a couple of rainfall events are expected to occur, which could be enormous and tend to give a false start of the season. Such rainfall events are not uncommon. However, their frequency seems to be on the rise. This is the time when in Hausa land they do this usual Bisne, they call it, or Binne, depending on which Hausa you speak. when they go to a dry spell and then put in the seed in anticipation that the rain will come quickly. And most times it will come up, shoots out. Unfortunately, thereafter it will seed and they will lose their crops. Some forcing functions have been observed to be likely responsible and will be monitored carefully and keep Nigerians informed. Farmers should therefore avoid early planting during this period to avoid losses. So please, if you want to do business or whatever it is, please do consult this document. We will launch an app here and all of us are on Facebook, Twitter.
This is how you can actually see.
Social media, you can now access.
This is how you can actually see.
Predict
Not here, but
accurate,
everywhere.
so that you don't use your own. Dry spells. Yeah. Dry spells are normal occurrences annually and occur in virtually all states of the Federation. This is what we call here in Hausa as hurries. These spells vary in severity and duration across the nation. This year, severe dry spells are predicted over the following areas. In Kebbi State, Arewa da Di, Birnin Kabi, Argungun, Daudi, and Audi. In Sokoto, Ilela, Gada, Tangaza, Gudu, and Sabon in Zamfara, Shinkari, Bindin Magaji, Maradu, and Juni. Unfortunately, also there is in Katsina. And more unfortunately, there is also in Dusi, where I come from. So Dusi, Katsina, Meadwa, Mashi, Haita, Ngudu, my name was Daura, Baure, and Zango. Jiga, where the Gladiman Kazaure reigns, in the Sulema Adamu, Viva, Kwashi, Gumal, Bernewa, Zulkankarka, Guri, Kasama. In Yobe, including where the Senate President comes from, Unguru, Isufari, Inasari, Karasua, Barje, Jakusko, Machina. I'm not sure if Oromita works. It involves Al-Gaidam, Borno, Abadan, Letwala, Mobar, Kukawa, Duzamala, Kubio, Tanzai, Amoguru, National Security Advisor. We have to advise him here. In the month of June and July, which may last between 2 to 3 weeks after the onset, farmers are therefore should adopt soil moisture conservation techniques to reduce chances of crop failure during this period. So given the period we know it will happen, and by this soil moisture conservation, and I believe that the local government and state government learn the technique which they can teach their teachers to be able to avoid losses. G, flash floods. The normal to above normal rainfall pattern in the country will lead to the possibility of isolated flash floods due to increasing high intensity rainfall at the peak of the season, especially in areas that are naturally prone to flooding. Day and night temperatures for the month of January to April are usually forecast annually so as to take into cognizance the effects at these times, which represent the coldest and warmest periods of the year. In 2021 forecast, the greater parts of the country are expected to record colder than normal temperatures. You have to wear lots of blankets. In addition to the SCP being presented today, I urge all here present to get acquainted with the other products that NiMET develops to aid national development. There are products like the Drought and Flooding Monitoring Bulletin, the AgroMet Bulletin, Air Quality Monitoring Bulletin, and the Quarterly Weather Bulletin, as well as Marine Met Bulletin and many others that are available at the agency. Let me at this point commend those in whose wisdom decided to establish this all-important agency and to renew it through the Act of National Assembly, especially the former Director General, Mr. K and Mr. Anoforum, which Professor Marshall and his team took over, and their team. And the current staff of NiMET for continuously improving the quality of its service, sustaining the momentum, timely presentation of SCP within first quarter every year, and winning the confidence of Nigerians. Not only Nigerians. I know I'm being watched by WMO and the world. I stand here proudly to say that NiMET is the best agency in the continent of Africa today. And we will continue to do more. They will continue to procure, utilize equipment and things that will give them more accuracy to be able to reduce this to the nearest zero, as they say in mathematics. So we will be more and more precise. It's a very serious agency. We take it very seriously. All of our activity in civil aviation and other sectors, as I said, are dependent upon weather prediction, for planning purposes, and of course, even for execution. So let me at this point commend the management and staff of NiMET for continuously improving the quality of its service, sustaining the momentum of timely presentation of SCP within first quarter of every year, and winning the confidence of Nigerians. We should put more efforts in sustaining this achievement as Nigerians already look forward to this vital progress year in, year out. On this note, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I now have the honor and pleasure to present to you NiMET's 2021 seasonal climate prediction. It's also my pleasure to formally release the 2020 State of the Climate in Nigeria. I enjoin all stakeholders in every sector to put these products into effective use. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we will invite, the MC will invite the dignitaries that are here present to help us in unveiling this document, and we hope that this and the future ones to come will be in the best interest of humanity. Assalamu alaikum.
Let me graciously invite the Minister of Aviation and all ministers here, leading his colleagues in the Federal Executive Council, to unveil the document, the seasonal climatic prediction. Let me invite His Royal Highnesses to join them. Permanent secretaries here and CEOs, please join them for the unveiling. A warm round of applause. And the host, the DG NiMET, his amiable wife, Hajia Mashi, is here. We welcome you, we appreciate you. You can join the DG for this unveiling. Cameraman, please set out for the unveiling. After the unveiling, all the VIPs will pick a copy and then show it to the media for the catch. The senators and armies, please join them, members of the House of Representatives, honorable ministers, His Royal Highnesses, permanent secretaries and armies, CEOs of our status, all their representatives, and representatives of state government here. Please join them. Protocol team, security aides to VIPs, we excuse them for this unveiling because of the space needed. Permanent Secretary, Minister of Aviation, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Finance, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Women's Affairs. Join them. Very quickly, can we convey the microphone to the host minister, Senator Hadi Srika? The congress mic, please, quickly for the minister.
And also, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you know, we have from Porto School, Engineer Advocate D. Aliyu, the former deputy governor of Yobe State. And you know, me and him are partners. He answers my father's name, Abubakar. He calls me his son, but honestly, I'm not. And of course, Unguru is far away from Porto School. I have some of my relatives in Unguru. So he's both representing the Minister for Works and Housing, Raji Fashola, my friend. That young man said we should apologize on behalf. So all of these are most welcome and inform Fashola that he is well represented while you are also representing yourself. Thank you.
Let me invite all the VIPs to join the Minister of Aviation now, unveil the seasonal climatic prediction document, after which all the VIPs will pick one of the copies and showcase to the media. Honorable Minister, you have the floor. Convey the aircraft mark quickly to the minister, please.
Well, very quickly, because we have you for too long, there's no speech here, I'm writing speech. In the name of God, the most beneficial, most merciful, all of this weather of which He knows before we know. We thank Him, and we pray that this will be good for humanity, and that He gives us in His wisdom more and more knowledge to be able to be more and more accurate to better our life. So please kindly join me to unveil.
Honorable Ministers, Distinguished Senator, Honorable Ministers, Permanent Secretary, CEOs, please can we pick a copy of the released document and spread out for the cameras. Pick a copy and then show it to the media, please. Can we spread out for the camera catch? On the whole stage, we can walk towards this end.
So are we ready? Two more.
There's this space here, we can spread out to the end here.
Can we display it to the press, please? I'm not sure it's the right way up. Okay. All right. Are you ready? Okay. After count of three, we'll all go.
One round of applause for them.
1, 2, 3. Thank you very much.
Celebrate our amiable minister, Senator Hadi Surika.
We're launching the app now. There's an app. There's an app. This one.
Please quickly activate it.
Yeah? Thank you, sir. Let's launch the app. Give me the app. Let's launch it.
Dr. Matazo, please quickly approach the minister for the app. Haji Rabi T. Mohammed, Director of Admin, please walk towards the podium for the vote of thanks. The launching of the app by the Honorable Minister of Aviation.
Dr. Matazo, I think you should help me launch the app. Quickly before they go. Honorable Ministers, we are launching the app now, just as we are taking out. We need your attention, Honorable Ministers and the Chairman of the National Assembly. We are launching the app. Can you just start 1 second, sir? Echo? 1 second, Echo. Why standing? Just stand there. We are launching the app. Can you please watch? Can you please turn your back and watch? We are launching the app. Stand up. Stand up. Thank you. Yeah. We're launching the app.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Honorable Sir. You kindly recall 2016, Honorable Minister, you directed the Nigerian Meteorological Agency
after our engagement with the state government to now go digital. And based on that, we worked with the state government on a platform, interim project platform, and came up with an app which we now modify into a national app. Next, please. This app is available on the Play Store, and it has information on focus. Next app, yeah. So it has information on an hourly basis and then on the weekly basis, and of course, this seasonal climate prediction is embedded in it and based on the state. So this is the schematic process that we have followed to now come up with this product like SRP. If you go to Play Store and then type NiMET weather app, you're going to see it. It has the info features of the daily forecast, temperature, maximum, minimum, and of course the field light temperatures and the seasonal climate temperatures. And of course, we're going to be updating this. If you are from Katsina State and you are in the local government, you can scroll and then you get the focus to see. This is very useful for farmers, lead farmers, climate change agents, extension officers, and of course, decision makers. And we're going to be updating this app from time to time. And please, you can be giving us feedback to see the performance of this app. And in addition, Honorable Minister, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, presently, this focus we have done and the 2020 State of the Climate Bulletin is also available on NiMET website. The NiMET website is www.nimet.gov.ng. We are also available on all the social media platforms, WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, and so on. We really appreciate this, and please, we hope that before you leave this hall, you kindly just download it on your Play Store app and download the NiMET weather app. We really appreciate your feedback. It's very flexible. You can get us feedback and we'll be serving you better. And in doing this, we have fulfilled the BLMO mandate of now doing a focus based on the demand of users. So our focus is demand driven and not user driven. We thank you most sincerely for coming. Thank you very much.
Please, one round of applause for Dr. Matazu. Announcement, please. After the vote of thanks, all the VIPs you have to join the Honourable Minister of Aviation for lunch. There's lunch for everybody. Please, can you borrow us 2 minutes? Don't go. Can we go back to our seat to take the vote of thanks, the national anthem, and we'll go for lunch? Very quickly, please, can we settle down to our seats? We are not done yet. Thank you, Excellency. But we very kindly return to our seats, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Reduce the side meetings, please. Can we settle down to our seats? In 5 minutes, we're out of here. Thank you very much, please. Now we come back to our seats. As I invite Hajia Rabi Muhammad for the vote of thanks. Hajia, please.
The Honorable Minister of Aviation, distinguished Senator Haji Sirika, permit me to stand on the already established precedent that I stand here to deliver the closing remarks of this very important occasion. It is my privilege and my honor to be entrusted with such an undertaking at a gathering of such eminent personalities from different parts of the country and of different fields of government, industry, academia, civil society, just to mention a few. For the past few hours, our minds have been assailed with torrents of ideas, speeches, and presentations, which left us better informed and knowledgeable about weather. So the challenge is no longer that of knowledge now. It's for us to be able to harness this information and for the stakeholders to come together and harness the information and come up with mitigants that will at least bring some of these issues to the VRS minimum. That is to reduce the vulnerability and also to serve the aviation sector better. Our thanks and glory goes and admiration to the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his infinite mercy, who has given us yet another chance to organize climate prediction. Despite the challenges and the pandemic that we encountered in the country, you agree with me that it is a great effort to be able to put this together despite the situation in the country. At this point, we want to thank and appreciate our Honorable Minister, distinguished Senator Hadi Srija, for his exemplary leadership, consistent encouragement, and support that he has been giving the agency, especially for giving us unprecedented early presentation for the 2021 climate prediction. At this point, on behalf of the Honorable Minister of Aviation, the Director General of CEO Sani Abubakar Mashi, the entire management and staff of the Museum Meteorological Agency, we wish to express our very hearty and sincere appreciation to all the personalities and everyone here present for finding time to grace this very occasion. Also, the Honorable Minister permits me to appreciate our Director General, Professor Sani Abubakar Mashi, who has been at the forefront in leading the management with this effective stewardship and support to the various committees that have worked tirelessly around the clock to ensure the success of this event. We thank and appreciate you. The management team are also, we are also very grateful to the management team who have cooperated fully with the Director General CEO. Our thanks also go to the technical team who work day and night to put this material in place that are distributed here today. The various committees and entire staff of NiMET who in their special and various ways made this occasion a success. We say a big thank you to the media who has been giving us coverage, and we want to believe that we are in very good hands, that the right message will be communicated to the populace of this country and the nation at large. We also say a big thank you to our Master of Ceremony who has been anchoring this event, and he has been doing his best to keep this hall very lively. Lastly, last but not the least, we say a big thank you to NAV Conference Center for their services. Finally, I want to appreciate each and everyone here present for finding time, despite their laudable schedule, to attend this occasion. Wishing us all safe trips to our various destinations while we join the Honorable Minister for lunch after this vote of thanks. Once again, thank you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you. We thank you for coming.
Let's celebrate Nigeria. The winner is for the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, please. The national anthem. Former MD NAMA, Captain Roland Yayi, welcome you. Former DGCO NiMET, Dr. Jibe Adeniji, welcome. The national anthem, please. Arise, oh come. Let me hear us. Nigeria. Fatherland, with love and strength and faith, thou labor. To Sorry, the anthem needed vaccination. We appreciate all of you. Thanks for coming. Our Chief Host, Minister of Aviation, Senator Hadi Srija, the Senior Senator of Smart Academy, and other senators and the House of Reps. Our Royal Highnesses, please join the Honorable Minister for lunch. Other guests, I think you have your packed lunch or the buffet.
Thank you for coming. God bless you.
Nigerian Meteorological Agency comes in. With our seasonal rainfall prediction SRP, we have the farmers back.